Before I get this video started, I would like to give a special thank you to the guys down at Herzog-Meier Volkswagen for allowing me to come down and review the 2018 Volkswagen GTI Autobahn. If you're interested in a GTI or the other fantastic Volkswagen models, be sure to contact them and they'll be happy to get you into your new car. Their contact information will be in the description box below. What's going on? This is Big G from G Riders and welcome to another episode of Test and Rides. Today, I'm going to be testing out the 2018 Volkswagen GTI. Welcome to the 2018 Volkswagen GTI. The Mark 7 body style of the GTI was introduced in 2015 and it added more power, more efficiency, got a little bit bigger, and it got a little bit higher quality than before. This one I have here behind me, this is the Mark 7.5, so this is the refreshed model of the Volkswagen GTI, and this is kind of the mid-cycle refresh, and they added a couple new things. We'll go through a couple of those things here in a little bit. So for the Mark 7.5, the Volkswagen GTI got a couple new things from the previous model. So standard on all GTIs, they now have LED tail lights that look fantastic. For the SCs and above, they have LED headlights with LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals, which look great. They maintain the same fog lights. The design is a little bit different. The wheels are a little bit different. The interior is basically unchanged, but for the most part, the changes on this car are mainly exterior changes, so nothing really major change on this car except it just looks a little bit different. So this one I have here with me today is a 2018 Volkswagen GTI Autobahn. So the Autobahn is the top spec of the GTI. This one, just like the other GTIs, comes with a 2-liter turbo, 4-cylinder engine, making 221 horsepower and 258 foot-pounds of torque. And since this car is a hatchback, this car only weighs about 3,100 pounds, which isn't bad. And because that 3,100 pounds is not too bad on weight, it does get 24 in the city and 31 out on the highway, which isn't bad. So, how much does the Autobahn cost? So, a base GTI is around $25,000. Since this model has every single option on it, this car is about $37,000, which, you know, it's a reasonable price for a GTI, but you do get a lot of equipment on this vehicle with it being at that price point. And especially you gotta admire this Great Falls green on this GTI here. All right, let's go ahead and hop inside the GTI, see what it's looking like inside. Stop it. Welcome to the 2018 Volkswagen GTI. And when you get into the interior, you suddenly realize that this car definitely is a high quality premium car from Volkswagen. Everything that you look at, you touch is high quality. There's some nice quality leather here on the armrest. The dash is nice and soft. The steering wheel feels nice in your hands and has a nice feel to it. The paddle shifters are probably the only cheaper feeling thing that's in this car, but who cares? It's a Volkswagen GTI, not, you know, like a $100,000 Bentley or nothing like that. So I'm not going to talk about too much about the interior because this is basically standard issue Volkswagen GTI and other Volkswagen products. So looking at the interior of the vehicle, looking at the dashboard, I'm disappointed to not see the digital cockpit like you find in the new Jetta and the new Atlas and the new Tiguan and all those cars, but I'm sure that's going to be coming eventually. I wish that was one of those things that should have came with, you know, the facelift of the GTI. Here in the instrument cluster, everything is pretty standard issue. It has a nice big clear screen. You can see it pretty clearly. I like the gloss finish across the dashboard everywhere. But down here, because it's the Autobahn, you can see where this has unblank buttons. So you have your driver's modes there, and you got your custom, which is my favorite. But there's a lot more options too. So you can have sport, engine sound, because it does pump the noise. It does pump the noise through the speakers. You could lock the differential. You could lock the front diff in this car, which is nice. you know, you could, there's just a lot more options in here for the GTI, just because this is the higher trim and this is the more performance model. And this car also has auto parking for parallel parking, which is kind of cool. You got your front and rear parking sensors there, got your traction control, but for the most part everything just is the same. It's just kind of, because this is a higher spec, that's what you see there. Another thing about this car, that this one does have, since it's the Autobahn, it does have a lot of standard equipment. Like I said, on the exterior, it does have LED daytime running lights and LED tail lights and everything. But since this is the Autobahn, it also comes with the fantastic Fender sound system. It comes with radar cruise control with the front end assist, everything. We've got the auto parking features. This does have navigation and heated seats and leather seats and automatic climate control and all that basic stuff. But I gotta say, my favorite thing about the interior of this higher spec model is that Fender sound system. That thing bumps pretty hard. It's a lot better of a sound system than you will find in the new Jetta, and I hope that Volkswagen is not moving towards Beats for their sound systems. But for the most part, the interior of the Volkswagen GTI, it's a very roomy, a comfortable interior, a high quality interior. You know, everything's pretty simple, standard issue Volkswagen. And you know, I've said this before in other Volkswagen videos, I'm really enjoying the interiors that they're doing in these new Volkswagen products, because they are familiar, but they're not, but they don't feel old. So let's go out and see how this thing drives, because I don't think I need to show you the back. I don't need to show you the back seat. I don't need to show you the trunk, because that's just standard of Volkswagen. I'll show you kind of a couple clips of what it looks like back there, and then, you know, let's head out on the road. Welcome to the 2018 Volkswagen GTI driving portion. All right, let's get out on the road and see how this thing drives. All right, so getting out on the road in the GTI, the first thing you notice, this thing is quick. So driving the GTI is a wonderful, this car is a wonderful car to drive. You guys know I have a Mark 6, so this is actually my first time getting in and driving one of the Mark 7 models. And I gotta say, there's a lot of big improvements over the Mark 6. There's a lot of big improvements versus, you know, how my Mark 6 drives and everything. And you know, you'd expect that, because this definitely is this is the newer car, this is a more expensive car, and you know, just driving it, I can definitely see that. So first thing, the steering in this car, it's okay. I think my car still has more steering response. This is a full electric system. But one thing that I like about this car is when you're driving easy, since it is electric steering, it's a lot more effortless than my car is, and that's just, you know, with this car being a brand new car. Second thing, the ride in this car is so comfortable. It's so compliant. It's so smooth. And you know, this car doesn't have a whole lot of road noise, and like I keep saying, you definitely can tell that this is a high quality car. Like, this definitely feels like a near $40,000 vehicle for sure. So just looking out all the windows when driving the new GTI, you can see all of the windows pretty clearly. I like the little quarter windows in the side there, and looking over your shoulder is pretty good. This car doesn't have too many bad blind spots, but it does have blind spot monitoring as a fail-safe, which is always nice. So with this car being the Autobahn model, this car does have all the safety systems, and the safety systems are not too intrusive in this car. So if it feels you slipping out your lane a little bit, it kind of assists you to get back in it. The radar cruise control's following distance is a bit, you know, conservative, like most radar cruise control systems. And for the most part, everything is nice in this car. I feel like there's the only thing that might be missing from this car is like the cool seats like the new Volkswagen Jetta has. But that's just me. Me personally, I wouldn't even get the leather seats. I'll get the plaid seats. But I know you can't get an Autobahn and plaid seats, and I think Volkswagen should make that an option. So I fit in this car very well. So you guys know I am over 6 feet. I'm over 6 feet tall and over 300 pounds, and this car is just as comfortable as my GTI is. The seats, I sit a little bit on top of these. I think it's just because the leather seats, they don't, and this is a brand new car, the seats aren't really broken in yet, so like it feels okay, but it could feel better, to be honest. And I got, you know, as you can see, I got plenty of headroom, even with the panoramic sunroof. I got plenty of shoulder room, and I got plenty of knee room. You know, like lot of space under the steering wheel, so I can turn the steering wheel comfortably. And this is a flat bottom style steering wheel, which is nice. So everybody says that the Volkswagen GTI is the best. It's the best daily driver, and I would 100% agree with that. The GTI definitely is the best daily driver ever, because I mean, you can't ask for any more than this car can deliver. It gets, you know, 32 miles a gallon on the highway, 24 in the city. It's very comfortable. You know, the DSG can be a bit notchy sometimes. People who own GTIs can know that, and because I know mine can be sometimes, but it's still a very smooth transmission when you're not hammering on it. And it's just a wonderful car to drive. And you know, I see why so many people own GTIs. It's because it bridges the gap between being a fun sports car and a practical, economical hatchback. So this GTI kind of holds true to what, you know, you expect when looking or wanting to buy a Volkswagen GTI. And I'm very glad that Volkswagen GTI hasn't lost that at all. And you know what, like, the GTI has been like this for a long time now, and you know, if they keep this up, maybe add a little bit more fuel economy, and honestly, this car doesn't need any more power. 221 horsepower, stock at 258 torque, that's enough. You don't need any more than that, but it'd be nice to see maybe a 7 or 8 speed dual clutch transmission as the transmission option. So when you are on the highway, you could be cruising at like 1500 RPM or so at 75 miles an hour. But besides that, I don't have any complaints about this car, other than the simple fact that I wish it got a little bit better gas mileage, and the car really needs a digital cockpit, especially at this price point. But besides that, I don't have any other issues with this car. This 2018 Volkswagen GTI is a wonderful car. It's a comfortable, it's a fun, it's a fast car, it's a relatively economical, it's a practical car. And if you're looking for a car with all those attributes, you should not hesitate. Go take a look at a 2018 Volkswagen GTI. And honestly, if you don't want to get an Autobahn particularly, you know, the GTI starts at about 25 grand. You do get a reasonable amount of equipment on the base level GTI. And me personally, I think the SE is the best bang for the buck when it comes to the Volkswagen GTI, because you get all of the LED headlights, tail lights, and all the features that you would want, but you don't got to spend nearly $40,000 for it. Again, a special thank you to Herzog-Meier Volkswagen for hooking me up with this vehicle to test today. And if you like this video, hit me with the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, keep riding me. Thanks for watching.